Hello everyone, and welcome to History of the Ancient World. Today, we're peeling back the layers of time to explore the captivating myths and legends of ancient Egypt. Forget what you think you know from Hollywood movies. We're diving deep into the stories that shaped one of the world's most enduring civilizations for over 3,000 years. These aren't just fairy tales, they were the very fabric of Egyptian life, explaining everything from the rising of the sun to the mysteries of death and the afterlife. So grab your virtual torch and let's descend into the tombs and temples to uncover the truth behind the gods, monsters, and heroes of the Nile. Our journey begins at the dawn of creation with the primordial waters of Nun. Out of this chaos, a lone hill emerged, and upon it stood the first and most powerful of all gods, Atum, who would later become associated with the sun god, Ra. Through his own will, he brought forth the first divine pair, Shu, the god of air, and Tefnut, the goddess of moisture. This brother and sister then had two children of their own, Geb, the god of the earth, and Nut, the goddess of the sky. This formed the core of what is known as the Ennead of Heliopolis, a group of 9 deities who represented the fundamental forces of the universe. Now, this is where the drama really starts. Geb and Nut were locked in a passionate embrace, which meant there was no space between the earth and the sky for life to flourish. So their father, Shu, the god of air, stepped in and forcibly separated them. He lifted Nut high above, forming the star-studded canopy of the heavens, while Geb remained below as the land we walk on. This act of separation was crucial, as it created the world as the Egyptians knew it. You can often see this depicted in ancient art. Shu standing, holding up the arched body of Nut, who is covered in stars, with Geb lying beneath him. It's a powerful image of order being born from chaos. With the world now formed, it was time for humanity to enter the picture. According to one popular myth, humans were created from the tears of Ra. As he wept with joy, his tears fell upon the earth and transformed into the first men and women. This belief established a direct personal connection between the Creator God and humanity. It meant that people weren't just accidental creations, they were divine byproducts, born from the emotion of the most powerful God. This gave the Egyptians a profound sense of purpose and a place within the cosmic order. It also reinforced the pharaoh's role as the divine intermediary, the living link between the gods and his people. But the most famous and influential of all Egyptian myths is the story of Osiris, Isis, and Seth. This epic tale of betrayal, love, and resurrection formed the bedrock of Egyptian beliefs about kingship and the afterlife. Osiris was the beloved king of Egypt, a wise and just ruler who taught humanity the arts of civilization. His wife, the powerful sorceress Isis, ruled by his side. However, their idyllic reign was shattered by their jealous brother Seth, the god of chaos and the desert. Seth craved the throne for himself and plotted to get rid of Osiris. Seth's treachery was cunning. He crafted a magnificent chest perfectly tailored to Osiris's exact measurements. He then threw a grand banquet and, as a party game, declared that whoever fit inside the chest could keep it. One by one, the gods tried and failed. Finally, it was Osiris's turn. As soon as he lay down inside, Seth and his co-conspirators slammed the lid shut, sealed it with lead, and cast the chest into the Nile River. Osiris was trapped, and Seth usurped the throne, plunging Egypt into an era of darkness and tyranny. But Isis, the devoted wife, refused to accept this fate. Her grief was immense, but her determination was even greater. She embarked on a desperate search for her husband's body. Her quest took her all across the lands, and she eventually traced the chest to the distant city of Byblos in modern-day Lebanon. There the chest had washed ashore, and a magnificent tree had grown around it. The local king, unaware of what was inside, had the tree cut down and used it as a pillar in his palace. Using her divine magic, Isis revealed her identity and persuaded the king to give her the pillar. She finally recovered the chest and brought her husband's body back to the hidden marshes of Egypt. There, in secret, Isis used her powerful magic to revive Osiris, just long enough to conceive a son with him, Horus. This miraculous conception was a pivotal moment. Horus was destined to be the rightful heir to the throne and the one who would avenge his father. But the danger wasn't over. One day, while Isis was away, Seth discovered the hiding place. In a fit of rage, he dismembered Osiris's body into 14 pieces and scattered them all across Egypt. This horrific act seemed to be the final, irreversible end for the deposed king. Once again, the tireless Isis set out on an even more heartbreaking quest, this time with her sister Nephthys by her side. They journeyed up and down the Nile, collecting every piece of Osiris's body. They found every part except for one, which had been eaten by a fish in the Nile. Using her magic, and with the help of Anubis, the god of embalming, Isis carefully reassembled her husband's body. She fashioned a replacement for the missing part and wrapped him in linen bandages, creating the very first mummy. This ritual, this act of mummification, became the blueprint for Egyptian funerary practices for thousands of years. Through this powerful ritual, Osiris was not returned to the world of the living, but he was reborn in the underworld. He became the undisputed king of the afterlife, the judge of the dead. His story offered every Egyptian the promise of eternal life. It taught them that death was not an end, but a transition, and that through proper rituals and a righteous life, they too could be reborn in the paradise of the Field of Reeds, ruled over by the benevolent Osiris. This myth gave them immense comfort and shaped their entire approach to death and burial. Meanwhile, Horus, the son of Isis and Osiris, had grown into a strong and determined young god. His destiny was clear. He had to challenge his uncle Seth for the throne of Egypt. What followed was a series of epic contests and battles between the two gods, often judged by the council of deities led by Ra. These conflicts were not just brutal fights, they were symbolic struggles between order and chaos, legitimacy and usurpation. In one famous episode, Seth tore out Horus's eye, but the goddess Hathor magically restored it. This restored eye became the powerful symbol known as the Eye of Horus, or the Wadjet Eye, representing healing, protection, and royal power. After 80 long years of conflict, the gods finally ruled in Horus's favor. He was declared the rightful king of Egypt, restoring divine order, or Ma'at, to the land. Seth was banished to the deserts, where he continued to represent the forces of chaos, but was now kept in check. From that day forward, every pharaoh of Egypt was considered the living incarnation of Horus on earth. When a pharaoh died, he was believed to become one with Osiris in the afterlife, while his successor, the new pharaoh, became the new living Horus. This myth provided the ultimate divine justification for the pharaoh's absolute power and ensured the stability of the Egyptian state for millennia. These are just a few glimpses into the rich tapestry of Egyptian mythology. From the creation of the world to the eternal struggle between order and chaos, these stories provided the ancient Egyptians with a framework for understanding their universe and their place within it. They were a source of spiritual comfort, moral guidance, and political legitimacy. The tales of Ra, Osiris, Isis, and Horus were not just stories. They were living truths that echoed in the art, architecture, rituals, and daily lives of an entire civilization. They remind us that to truly understand the history of the ancient world, we must also listen to the myths they told. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey down the Nile. We've only scratched the surface, and there are so many more gods, goddesses, and legendary tales to explore. What's your favorite Egyptian myth? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to History of the Ancient World for more adventures into the past. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you won't miss our next episode. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.